Picture, if you will, a room full of teenagers. They have met what looks like your average classroom to battle. Their faces are grim, spouting war cries of titles, authors, and introductions. They begin to fight. Instead of camouflage and flak jackets, they don black suits and ties. Black books are swung like broadswords. Shoo, shoo. Hand gestures are thrown like karate chops. This is an epic battle. This is round one at stake. Just because we war with our communication skills instead of swords does not mean we are not warriors. Let's face it, my fellow competitors, we did not arrive at this school at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning to make new friends. No, we are here to fight it out, speech style, and this classroom is our battlefield. In the course of our lives, we shall be matched with many opponents, whether it be in a speech round or in the struggles of our adult professional lives. At the end of the day, we are all competing for something. It seems to me that in this cosmic speech meet that we call life, we need to offer up a new critique sheet on the value of competition, by first realizing that it's not the tally in our score, but the fun of the chore. And second, that it's not the sound in our round, but the creation in our oration. So let's go ahead and break those rhymes down. First, it's not the tally in our score, but the fun of the chore. Winning is pretty cool, yes, but really, it doesn't matter what color your ribbon is at the award ceremony, as long as you took something out of the day as a whole. Let's be honest, no one can win every time. Well, not in the Michael Phelps, or Tiger Woods, or Chuck Norris. But that's beside the point. What is far more important than the tally of the score at the end of the day is taking something out of our experiences, really enjoying the fun of the chore as we compete. So how does this idea translate to real life? What if I told you you could work for a multi-billion-dollar company that would let you play pool or ping pong or even take naps while trying to brainstorm your next idea? Sounds like the ideal place to work, right? Well, get out your resumes and throw out your best power type, folks, because that company is none other than Pixar Animation Studios, the company that brought us such great animated films as Finding Nemo, Monsters, Inc., and Toy Story. A short video called Inside Pixar follows Randy Nelson, Pixar executive, as he takes us on a tour of the studio. He travels first to the massive game room, complete with pool and ping pong tables, as well as arcade games. He then ventures to the grounds, which feature a swimming pool, a soccer field, and a beach volleyball court. But what's the point of all this fun? This is a place where people have to play to do their work, says Nelson. The amount of fun we have making the movies shows up in the amount of fun that they are to watch. And it makes sense. If everyone at Pixar got stressed out making these movies, instead of watching Finding Nemo, we might be watching Frying Nemo. So to combat this possibility, Pixar does goofy things on purpose. They are far more interested in the journey of making a movie than in following some sort of established formula for creating a film. So, you've sent in that resume to Pixar, but what can you do in the meantime? Check out one example of a man who really embodied the fun of the chore philosophy in his day-to-day life, Professor Randy Pausch. Professor Pausch came to fame last year in his video, The Last Lecture, which was featured on shows like Oprah and Good Morning America. In August 2007, Professor Pausch was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and told he had 3 to 6 months left to live. At the time, he was scheduled to participate in a series of last lectures at Carnegie Mellon, in which professors were asked to write and deliver a lecture as though it were their last, in an attempt to access the thoughts and ideas that truly mattered to them. After his diagnosis, Pausch decided to write what would truly be his last lecture and deliver it in a scheduled spot. The speech was titled, Really Achieving Your Childhood Dreams, and then spoke of his childhood goals and how he had accomplished each one in some form. The talk also expounded upon Pausch's love of giving others a chance to succeed by enabling their dreams. He even went on to say of his life, I don't know how not to have fun. I'm dying, and I'm having fun. How cool is that? A man with 10 tumors in his liver and 3 to 6 months left to live, proclaiming that he is dying, and yet having fun? Pausch realized he was going to die, but he didn't let it get him down. He just accepted it. He took his chance to live life to its fullest, and maybe even help those he encountered along the way. It wasn't the tally in his score, but the fun of the chore. Now, while it is important to enjoy yourselves in your rounds today, remember, we're here not just to have fun, but to give it everything we've got. I'm just going to assume that those of you here have seen a speech before, so you're probably familiar with the crisp diction, purposeful hand gestures, and barely noticeable platform movements that the average orator uses in the course of his or her 10-minute speech. These things all make up the sound in our round. But what really matters, what should really stick with a listener, is what the performer says, or the creation in our oration. We are constantly searching for new ways to entertain judges and make our pieces stand out in pursuit of those coveted blue ribbons. But at the end of those exhausting rounds, is that what we really wanted? Speech is something more than a shiny ribbon you tape up on the wall or put on your college application. Speech is a chance to put everything that you are on the line and say something. In summation, the creation in our oration should last longer than the 10 minutes of our piece or the 60 minutes of a round. Think about it. Throughout history, famous orators have taken to the podium or the stage to vehemently exhort us to some cause. But the speeches that really stick with us are the ones that really mean something. And the speeches that pack a serious auditory punch and leave listeners starry-eyed. One of the most famous speeches given in our nation's history was delivered August 28, 1963, from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. I have a dream, it said, that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. These inspiring words were, of course, breathed into life by Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., one of the leading faces of the American Civil Rights Movement of the 1960s. Aside from becoming one of the most important speeches delivered in American history, the I Have a Dream speech left a truly lasting impact. What was then a 17-minute speech has now survived over 45 years. We even have a day to commemorate the life of Dr. King, which can be summarized in spirit by those immortal words, I have a dream. Through King's ideals of peaceful protest and racial equality, equal rights for all Americans have become a real opportunity. And the sound in King's round, the public viewed him both negatively and positively. Some people looked down on him because of his race, while others saw an inspiring leader who could accomplish the impossible. Whatever his reputation, the creation in his oration was one of great inspiration that set the tone for an entire nation. But it does not take a social visionary like King to make a lasting impact. 15 years ago, my grandfather retired from his position of math department chairman at my high school and was awarded Teacher of the Year for his 39 years of teaching. His concise acceptance speech concluded with one simple challenge for the teachers in the audience: love your kids. He lived up to these words himself each and every day. He was a good teacher for one simple reason: he loved kids. You know, the kind of love where he'd assign extra homework the night before a snowstorm, just so the kids wouldn't get bored in case of a snow day. He was a tough teacher, but a good one. This past October, on a sunny fall Monday, my grandpa passed away. And I met so many people at his viewing who had some story to tell about him. One that sticks out in particular came from one of my own teachers, who told me about the impact of that speech that Grandpa gave 15 years ago. He spoke of the rewards of his teaching career simply because of the love that he had given to his students. And he chalked it all up to my grandfather's advice. Without loving my students, like your grandfather challenged me to do, he said, I could never have succeeded as a teacher. The impact of this speech has by far outlasted its simplicity and its brevity. While that award ceremony is come and gone, the words spoken there still live on through the people that heard them. It is not simply the delivery of our speeches that truly counts. It's the words that we say and the impact that they create that truly matters. So what can we do to ensure that we make a lasting impact? Let's start small. How can you make an impact in this round? Get up here and give it everything you've got. Show your competitors what you're made of. Show that judge what you're fighting for. Speak for your life. But it doesn't stop there. You can make an impact in other parts of your life too. Do community service. Encourage a friend to join the speech team. Do things because they are fun, not because you might get something out of them. It's that simple. You can make an impact. And so, my friends, we have come to the end of my part in this battle. I challenge you to take up your sword or black book and get out there. Take a slash at stagnation with your diction, or karate chop ignorance with a hand gesture. Just make sure the creation in your oration is an impact for the world to behold.